I kind of wish I'd gotten that one live when you'd said I'm ready to go, relatively speaking.
Ready is a relative term whenever it's regarding me. So,
Yes. We've got a lurker in Laurel.
We've got a lurker Laurel. Who's been around for an hour. The anticipation.
I haven't been hanging around that long, honey.
I popped in to check and saw that about half an hour ago, and then I decided to have a shower. So I was gonna go. I was like, should I log on now? And I was like, actually, I'll go have a shower first, and then I'll log on. So.
Yes. As I said, appreciated that you put clothes on before you got online. Very appreciated.
Yeah. I mean, I have clothes on, but the person on my T-shirt doesn't. So we've got we've got a compromise going on.
Dear. Yes. Now, about an hour ago, I was sitting down watching the start of Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Oh.
And hubby was falling asleep on the couch next to me, so he's been sent to bed. So you won't see a hand over here tonight?
No thumb in frame.
But it's cold here, Laurel. I've actually even got a blanket on my feet at the moment because my toes are cold.
I feel like that's a different service that I'd be signing up for, not YouTube.
Yeah.
If clothes were optional. I mean, clothes are always kind of optional. But what is it, like OnlyFans or something? Different subscription service?
There's one for your Patreon.
What's that saying? I can't remember what the words are now, but it's something along the lines of, why do something for free if it's something you can get paid for?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Well, guys, welcome to my channel. We haven't been live for a couple of weeks. To be honest, I have needed a break.
We were live last week, weren't we?
Sorry?
We were live last week on Wednesday.
Yeah, about a week and a half. But I'm a bit burnt out at the moment. So if my very tired vlog doesn't I think I spent half of that vlog just staring at the yarn going, oh, I'm so tired. I haven't even finished editing it yet, the rest of it.
I mean, considering how recent it was, I think you're fine. I still haven't finished the Chaos-a-thon vlog. I almost finished the other night, and then I got bored and turned it off.
Yeah. I just haven't been able, because when I work, I stare at the screen all day, and then that's 3 days a week. And then for 4 days a week, I really just don't want to be in front of the screen at the moment. I think, to be honest, just like you, I think I need to go get these looked at.
I spent a lot of money today. Yeah. And I have classes coming in about 2 weeks. I've got to go get them adjusted and fitted and everything when they have made up the script. Yeah.
So, okay, guys. So, welcome to the channel. Tonight we are going to be chatting about Going Postal, the Terry Pratchett, the 33rd Discworld novel. And what I love about Discworld is you can read them out of order. Even the ones that are based around the same characters, you can read out of order. It's actually interesting, just an aside, but I reckon Discworld is what gave me the idea to write all my sci-fis in the one universe and all my in another universe, because he does it. You know, he uses the same universe, the same mythologies all the time. He just wrote about different characters and different storylines, and that was really I discovered Pratchett when I was about 12 years old. I stayed over at my best friend's house.
Damn it! Sorry.
No, that's right. I stayed over at my best friend's house. She gave me It wasn't Color of Magic. I think it was Weird Sisters
to
read, and I've been hooked ever since. Yeah.
I tried to read The Color of Magic like November last year, and I got a little way into it, and I just couldn't get through it because, and I realized later this is a Terry Pratchett thing because he doesn't like chapters. Because I felt like I was reading for fucking ever, and I still hadn't gotten through the first chapter, and I was just like, when can I just like have a break where I can put this down?
In fact, Going Postal is the first Discworld novel with chapters.
Yeah, I think
it is the first one, and it's one of his last ones.
Is it because it's more sort of, it could be YA maybe?
I think it was more so because you didn't necessarily need chapters when Terry Pratchett started writing.
Yeah.
He just didn't
like chapters, and he just refused to put them in anyway. But yeah. I know I heard like the publishers made him put chapters in for the YA novels, but I'm not sure what ones are the YA novels.
Well, to be honest, when you think about it, it all could be considered YA. Okay, YA didn't exist when Terry Pratchett started writing and being published. Yeah. So it's sort of, I can see why they would want to appeal to the younger market by making it more friendly with chapters.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I just need to, so the next one on my reading list is Making Money, which is the book after Going Postal. It's the next most fun big book. And
so
I'm really looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah.
So the reason I haven't started it yet, even though I've got it on one of my book apps with the audiobook, is because I didn't want to get them mixed up when we're having this chat about Going Postal, and I knew the easiest way to not get them mixed up is to just not have read one of them yet.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah, my dad is a massive Terry Pratchett fan.
So that's the book. What are we missing on tonight?
Got the jumper. Same old. I don't have any more needles yet, so I can't.
I actually discovered a few of my needles have broken, and I'm really shitty about it because they're not cheap higher sharps. When I say broken, I mean like I've got a 4mm that's literally stuck on a cable. They're meant to be interchangeables, and it just won't come off. You start turning. I think the thing inside it's broken, so you start twisting it to take it off, and it just keeps twisting. I don't actually have any. Yeah, yes I do. Where are they? Yeah. So the cables connect here, and you can open and shut them. And yeah, I was trying to, because I was just reorganizing some things last night, and I tried to unhook some of my interchangeable cables off my needles, and guess what won't come off? And I'm like, you bastard. Which is fine. It means I can just use them as a cabled needle, but now I have to go buy replacements for my interchangeable set. So I'm not happy with that at the moment.
I just remembered that I made notes about this book, and I don't have them on me because I made notes of some bits that I wanted to mention. I think I noted down a couple of quotes as well, and I can't remember where I bloody put them. I keep doing this.
So we're going Laurel, have you read Going Postal? Well, Charlotte looked for her notes
while I realise how disorganised I am. Is it in the bag still? Oh, please tell me it's in the bag. Also, when I was doing a cleanup the other day, I finally found the notes I made for Altered Carbon, but they weren't fucking relevant anymore, were they? We've already talked about it.
Oh, dear.
Found them.
Got them?
Yeah.
I haven't made any notes because that would involve being organised.
Well, see, this is why I wish I had a physical copy of the book sometimes, because it allows me to like draw on it and dog pages.
To be honest, though, at the moment, I'm just lucky if I remember to brush my hair and my teeth at the same, in the morning. So
I rarely brush my hair. I brush my hair less than I brush my teeth.
I'm going to start brushing. I'll have to start brushing my hair a lot more regularly because it's starting to get longer again. And I brushed it the other day and I felt a whole heap of knots in here. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen to the book. Yes. Look, to be honest, I actually reckon Terry Pratchett is more fun to listen to.
I really enjoyed it. And I've got written down is a couple of sections where I actually started laughing. And I was lucky I was at the office by myself because I was just laughing out loud for like an extended period of time to the point where if anyone else had been there, they would have probably come out and been like, what are you laughing at?
Yeah. See, I actually was listening to it in the car when I was driving down to do the food shop the other day, and I swear I'm just, in the car, and I'm people go, what's wrong with her? Because you're just like, as he just
driving around in the middle of a pandemic, laughing your ass off.
Oh, the sense of humour that man had. I mean, and the fact that he was able to take two totally unrelated ideas and just mash them together and make it sound like they make sense.
Mm. Oh, man. The way that guy turns a metaphor.
Oh, I know.
I wrote down one of my favourite ones, but there were so many I could have written down. I think it's around chapter 11 or 12. It's I think it's when he's pulled the all-nighter setting up the sort of Clacks interception thing.
Yep.
And he wakes up and it says his mouth tasted as though Tiddles had slept in it.
Yes.
And Tiddles is the post office cat who's like this old doddering cat.
Yeah.
And that is such a brilliant way of describing it. I love it.
I must admit, speaking of Tiddles, I like how when he saves him from the fire, how he gets the front page because let's face it, a man saving the cat from the fire means he's a hero. Yeah. Terry Pratchett just had this way of just cutting through the shit, just by calling it out.
I also like the bit in that scene where he's killed the banshee and he's trying to get the cat out from underneath the machine.
Yes.
And it just is a perfect example of his personality of how he deals with everyone, not just like animals.
I'm a people person.
Well. But he says to the cat, he's like, I've got to come out with the cat because a man who runs into a burning building to save a cat is a hero or whatever.
Yeah.
Is an idiot but a hero. But if he comes out without the cat, he's just a twit.
Yes.
And he's like, the cat has to come out of the building. The cat doesn't have to be alive.
Yes.
When he's trying to get this cat out from under the thing.
Yes.
My favorite line in the whole book was in chapter 13.
Laurel, yeah. It was devastating.
I got to the end of the book and so there was another Moist Fun Lit book, big book, and then I was just like, but there's not another one. And there's not going to be another one. And I was like, fuck.
I think we were even saying, God, could you imagine what he could have done with Moist? He could have just kept going. Like Rincewind. Rincewind has, I think, 6 or 8 books. And the Weird Sisters, the Granny Weatherwax. I mean, I think she's got about 5 books based around her town. Death, Mort, and Death's daughter, whose name escapes me at the moment. They're Death's granddaughter, actually, not his daughter. They've got a good 5-6 books or something around around that sort of stuff. And yeah, poor old Moist only got 2 books. But he shines nice and bright.
He shines brighter than his golden suit.
Yes.
My favorite line in the whole book, and it's not just the line, it's the entire scene and the build up to the scene, is when he plays Mr. Guilt right into his trap, and he's come up with his plan, and he's in the first stages of executing it. And what he has to do is delay the start of the race so that they can have time in the darkness to set up their Clax tower that will intercept the message and pass on a different one. And so what he does is he shows up 10 minutes late.
Yes.
And he's like being the showman, and he's like, I was going through some stamp designs and I completely lost track of time, sort of thing, playing, and he rocks up with this broom that he's painted stars on. Just a regular broom.
I sort of get the impression, because he gets Mr. Pump to get it for him. I get the impression that Mr. Pump has gone back to the golem that's working in the theatre, because you're the one that makes him his suit to begin with. And then, to me, in my mind, is this broom looks amazing. Like, it looks like it's a magic broom, because when the golem gets his suit made for him, it's shiny. It's shiny, and I just get this feeling that it's not just a broom with a couple of stars on it. I get the feeling that's pretty nice expand.
I feel like it was like painted. In my head, it was sort of painted blue with like silver stars all over it. And it's like this really out there prop. And he gets the broom, and he's got Mr. Pump looking after it. And he makes a real show at the start of the race of giving the Clax just a couple of the pages of the book that they've got to deliver.
The one that had the colour pictures in it.
Thumbed through it really quickly, found the pages with the most complex images and diagrams on, and tore those ones out and gave it to the guy. And the guy is so sort of like startled by the, oh no, that's not what I meant sort of thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't realise. And so he's playing Mr. Pony, and then he's just playing it, and he's trying to cause enough of a ruckus so that Guilt shows up.
Yeah.
Because then when Guilt shows up, and they're like, oh, very well, get on with the race. And he says, okay, Mr. Pump, put the broomstick on the cart, on the coach for me. And Guilt is like, broomstick? And immediately it's the best decoy, because then Guilt plays right into his hand. It's like, if
it's a double feint. It's a double feint. He feints him with the broomstick. One wants to rattle him, but really, essentially, to stop to make it part of the rules that if the Clax break down, they can't use their ponies.
And he uses Guilt's line back at him, and it is the funniest moment, because Mr. Guilt is like, if Mr. Lipwig isn't confident in his equipment, he should concede now. And so Lipwig agrees to not take the broom, which was a useless broom anyway. It was a complete.
My personal favourite line is the wizard.
The wizard takes him aside at the end and is like, just so you know, painting some stars on a broomstick won't make it fly. You know that, right? He's like, really? Really, it won't.
I do wish they'd had that bit in the movie.
I wish the entire scene had been in the movie. It would have been so good. But then, what Moist says is like, may I request even-handed treatment? And they say, what do you mean? And he says, I believe there's a horse stationed at every Clax tower in case it breaks down.
Yes.
And Guilt gets all angry, and he's like, that's regular practice. And he's like, only in the mountains.
Yeah, but you'll have it in every.
He's using it as leverage, and then he quotes Guilt's line back to him and says, if Mr. Guilt is not confident in his equipment, I suggest he concedes now.
I think in a way this is the climax. And it is. It's because it's about the two. They're finally facing off. Like, because right up to this point, Moist has even turned around and said, "Oh no, we're not competing with the Clax. We're not competing with them. We're happy to help." Because he's like, and he says this through the whole book. He's a people person. He knows how to get people to look at a glass ring and think it's a diamond, because he knows their tricks. He knows what to say, what to do to distract them at the right time. And I think that's and in this is point here, and I love the scene where he first meets Richard.
Yeah.
They're in the restaurant, and he comes over and they're facing each other, and he instantly recognizes not only a kindred spirit, but a master at the con, an absolute master of con. He was literally sitting there going, I pale in comparison to this man. Yet, on the flip side, I think it's only the second time they meet.
It's the second time they face,
yeah, is at the caravan, is at the start of the competition.
Yeah.
But taken I'll never be able to go anywhere near this man's class to I know how to break him.
Because he says it's a game of words and I'm better at them.
Yes, because he realizes that, yes, Guilt may be good at what he's done, but at the end of the day, Moist he's the king of words. He knows exactly what to say to the right person to get something done.
Yeah. And he knows how to find people's leverage points, is what he calls it. And he mentions that with all the characters along. He's trying to find the different leverage points. And the thing he likes about Adorabelle is he doesn't know what hers is.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And it's something like, there's a great line in there. I can't remember what it was. But there's an interview with Terry Pratchett talking about the movie version. And he quotes this line, talking about Adora when he's talking about the casting and how good it was.
Right.
But what was I gonna say? The best that it's so good because he plays Guilt. Basically what he does is he does a double bluff and gets it so that he doesn't lose anything, but Guilt loses the backup of having a horse if the towers break down.
Yeah, but it's a psychological that
in itself is a psychological bluff. And so Guilt thinks that he's going to try and make the towers break down, but he's not making the towers break down. He's just replacing the message with one that will incriminate him.
And it also, too, it plays into the assumption that he's going to try to get the message to the town some way. He's got some plan. It's like towards the end, like we're all going, oh, yes, Moist, we know you don't have a plan. We know you don't have a plan, when he really doesn't have a plan up until like the last minute. But it's
isn't about beating the Clacks, it's about beating Reacher.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, I think that's where like Moist sort of redeems himself a little bit in the way, because he realizes that if they destroy the Clacks, and this is actually I reckon this is shown very well in the conversation he has with the what were their name, the
Mad Alex, Saint Alex or whatever.
The Smoking Gnu, when he's saying no, if we break the towers, we actually hurt the people that are working in them. We're not the enemy. Guilt's the enemy, and I think, it's for a con man to just, okay, yes, he's still, let's face it, at the end, he's still just trying to survive. But he has grown a lot as a character. I really want to see what he does in making money.
Oh, I can't wait. There's one line where he says, this is just as good as the con, only it's like legal and I'm getting paid to do it.
Yeah, it's something about the post office or something. No, it's the postage stamps.
Yeah, the postage stamps is basically a con that he designs, but the whole game of getting the post office going and beating the Clacks, he says, is just like running a con, but even better. and he's getting paid to do it.
No. You got the idea that if he was a businessman, he would be completely unstoppable.
Yeah.
But it's just the wording though. Like unfortunately I don't have the physical book, so I can't couldn't mark my favorite line. But I think I wrote in my description for tonight's chat was the master of comedy, fantasy comedy. because he's the master of fantasy comedy, and Douglas Adams was the master of sci-fi comedy. But
satire as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so glad we picked this one for this month. Oh shit, did I just click the wrong button?
It's still here.
I clicked an update on my computer by accident.
Uh-oh.
And I didn't mean to click the update, and I hope it doesn't turn me off. That's okay. I can log back in on my phone if it does turn me off.
Yeah,
hopefully it won't though. But what was I going to say? I was going to Google best lines from Going Postal, wasn't I? Something about... Oh yeah, I don't know. I've lost it. But Discworld in itself is just brilliant. Going Postal, that's right, the post office in America.
Yes. That's where the name is from. Did you know that?
Is it from the post office in America?
It's pretty grim, but the whole Going Postal was slang for in the 80s or 90s. People, some posties in America went nuts and started doing mass shootings in their workplace. So it's a pretty, it's not a pleasant saying, but luckily he was able to turn it into a very fun and amusing book.
Yeah, Going Postal as a slang term has several meanings, I think, from what I saw. Yeah, it's a American English slang phrase referring to becoming extremely and uncontrollably angry, often to the point of violence. Yes.
Yeah, there's some very unpleasant associations with the slang term. Yeah.
But also, it's like now usually means that someone is going to go nuts or go off the deep end, sort of thing. This is what Urban Dictionary says, which is a brilliant use of it in this case because everyone in the post office is slightly mad. Yes. And when Bruce goes into the post office, he feels like he's starting to lose his mind because the letters are talking to him.
Yeah. I do like in the movie. Okay, they took out a lot in the movie about the letters, but I do like in the movie how they sort of had the deliver us sort of
in fire
simulation up to the fire where it's deliver us. But in the book, he's able to just do just that little bit more, like how when he's up in the upper levels of the post office, he doesn't go back in time, but he sees like a history thing, and it's because of the letters. There's so many words in that building, it's just turned everything a bit nutty. And what it was at Stanley and
Stanley and Grote.
Yeah, Grote. How Mr. Grote, how they're like, don't have one, you don't want to set them off. Shh, you don't want to set them off.
They read the regulations to them to calm them down every night.
Yeah.
I just found a list of best quotes on Goodreads from Going Postal, and one of my favorites that's just on the list here is steal $5 and you're a common thief. Steal thousands and you're either a government or a hero.
Yes.
And that's one of the quotes that Moist's internal monologue is saying when he's about to get hung at the beginning. Yes. Or hanged, rather.
I do love that bit where obviously they hang him to within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
And then a little bit when he recovers when the gods gift him the gold, they turn around and he says, he sort of says to Lord Vetinari, "Oh, him, the con man, Oh, no. I was there when he was hanged.
Yeah. He's like, he's dead. It's like, are we sure? It's like, oh, yes, sir. I was there when he was hanged. I was there when they hanged him.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah. Oh, Vetinari is so good as a character.
Yeah,
so good, and such like brilliant and complex character motivations all in one. Like he's both what did they say? He's both an angel and a tyrant.
Yeah. I just love how at the end when he's like commanding everyone to shut up, he's like, tyrant, do as I say. Tyrant.
Like it's so funny as well because at the beginning that's set up by Reacher Guilt writing an article calling him a tyrant, and then when they're telling him he can't do this, he can't do that, and it's like, aren't I a tyrant? Remember, I can do that if I want to. It's so good. But also, I think I don't know if it's in the book or if it's in the film version, but not the book, or both, where his motivation for, like, he knows they're doing shitty stuff, like these businessmen are doing shitty stuff, but his main motivation for getting in the way and stopping them is because the breakdown of the clacks and they're not, like, running it properly is interfering with his long-distance game of thud.
That is just in the book. Sorry, in the movie. That's just in the movie. His motivations for getting the post office back up and running is they know there's something wrong with the clacks. They know there's a problem with how the clacks was acquired.
Yeah.
But obviously they don't have any evidence. So the only way to sort of force someone's hand is to get the post office back up and running.
Yeah.
So that's how I sort of read it. I might be wrong. So
I remember I really liked the scenes that are just in the book when he brings all the businessmen in, and it was funny because when I was reading it the first time, I remembered, because I'd seen the film ages ago, so I remembered really clearly Moist, Vetinari, Adora, and vaguely Groat and Stanley, but I couldn't remember Reacher or Horsefly from the film version. Like, I couldn't remember what they looked like. And in my head, Horsefly looked like Johnny Vegas, like the British comedian, because the voice that the guy did reading it sounded a lot like Johnny Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And so I sort of pictured him in that role. And then the movie version was completely different for those two characters. Yeah. I actually think the book did them better.
Yeah, I think the book did them better. And one thing I love about the book is, okay, at the end of the movie series, you have the ledger that Horsefly's been keeping, the very important ledger that Reacher throws into the fire to try to destroy, and Mr. Pony rescues and gives it to Adora, and that's what they use in that's in the movie series. Yeah. But in what I liked about the bit in the book is Moist goes to Adora and gets all the paperwork and goes through it, and he figures it out.
They do bring the ledger back in, but it's such a minor.
So subtle. I was getting to that. And then when they're doing all the investigations at the end, when Lord Vetinari's clerks are doing all their investigations and they've got piles and they've got lines and stuff on the floor, and then all of a sudden one of them carries in a little red book and puts it down, and suddenly all the lines start spreading out from this one little book everywhere else. And he just like, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he was very he's very subtle in his details. Like, he didn't have to ram the book over your head saying this book is important. All he had to do was describe the fact that a clerk puts it down, and all of a sudden little lines and everything are spread from this one book to everything else.
Everything's rearranged, and all of the unmatching details suddenly match up.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then they're describing they're out of there, and the bank's back open again in the morning for everyone to continue as normal. Yeah. Like, that's how efficient they all were.
Yeah, but it's also too, it absolves the bank of any wrongdoing, because if the bank has been back opened and everyone's got their job still, no one there was at actual fault.
Mm.
But
Yeah, and it shows because it was Horsefry was keeping a ledger of everything that like Guilt and the board members were doing.
Yeah, no, he was keeping a ledger of the money. So yeah, because most of the money that they used to buy the trunk of the Clacks was actually money ledgered against the trunk. So it's money that didn't exist. That's how I understand why they did it. It was all technically legal, but at the same time they did a dodgy because they didn't actually own the trunk to mortgage it.
They used the trunk's money to buy the trunk.
Yeah, they did something dodgy, but there was never any evidence. But it was all in this little red book because Horsefry, being the little the accountant that he was, needed to know where it was so he could hide it properly in the official ledgers.
And Guilt was like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And then I love the description of Guilt killing Horsefry as well, because he's like, "Well, he needs to get back home first." He's like, he considered killing him now, but someone would have seen him come in. So he needs to get back home first, and he needs to be seen getting back home.
So and I actually think the movie teleseries didn't do that bit justice, because in the movie, Guilt actually gets enraged and kills him.
Yeah.
But in the book, this is still quite early on. It's actually only about a third of the way in the book. And
it's quite early on. And then it's mentioned the next morning when Moist wakes up and he goes into veterinary and they've got the paper there and he's reading it.
Yeah.
And panics about the stamps joke that they've made about licking Lord Veterinary's backside.
What I love though is Lord Veterinary just completely ignores it because he's so used to having that shit thrown at him. He's just like, yeah, who gives a shit? I'm more interested in this. Well, this line here, young man. Yeah. But
there's another article in newspaper that Moist reads while he's waiting for a reaction from Veterinary that's about a banker, some banker being murdered and the Watch having trouble tracking down the murderer. And he's like, oh, that's good. If the werewolf can't sniff out a murderer, then maybe I've got more of a chance.
Than I thought, and then it actually is Horsefry and the Banshee.
Yeah, and then in the end of that scene, Veterinary is looking out the window watching Moist leave. Sorry, that's my smoke alarm.
Yeah.
I'll turn the heater off. Maybe it was that. Oh, the heater is off. I have no idea what set that off. Maybe it needs a new battery.
It normally just beeps when it needs a new battery.
Pardon?
It would normally just beep when they need a new battery. But you know what used to set? Ours used to get set off here a lot with very fine dust.
Maybe that's what it is. Heater's blowing some dust.
When they're constructing directly behind us, all the dust used to come in and set our alarms off all the time.
Yeah. Well, the heater is very dusty at the moment, so that would be my best guess. Normally it just goes off when we're cooking and we forget to put the fan on or we're cooking something smoky.
Oh.
But sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Just making sure we're all awake.
Yeah. There's what is his name? The clerk the clerk comes in when Veterinary is watching Moist leave in that scene and says something like, I see Mr. Horsefry has passed away.
Yes.
In response to the article in the paper. And I didn't pick that up straight away on the first read, but on the second read I was like, oh
yeah, it's Pratchett is just, he was the master of subtlety. He really was.
Oh, yeah. My dad's read all of the books and rereads them all regularly, and he says every single time that he rereads them, he notices something new.
Yeah, it's just I just can't describe it. If you haven't read a Pratchett, just go read any one. Doesn't matter which one. Read them out of order. This
is a very good one.
Sorry?
This is a very good one to start with.
Yeah. It is, and this one is very, and it's also too because it's the start of a new character's sort of storyline. It is very easy to get into, although they're all pretty much able to be read in any order.
Yeah.
Although it makes a bit, you kind of want to read some of them in order just simply because the way the character changes, but it's not 100% needed, or just so you know sort of histories of some of the characters, like some of the stuff they've done in the past and things. But
I really liked in the book much more than the movie the complexity of guilt and the bankers and the way and like the board. I think that was a lot more complex, and the film they had to cut bits for TV obviously, but
we completely cut that out.
Sort of simplified it a little bit too much for me, and the guilt became more of like a cartoon villain sort of than how complex he is in the book.
Well, see, also too though, in the book he was still the cartoon villain, because I think right at the start when Voice sees the picture of him, he actually even then says he was the epitome of the villain, which meant everyone would love him, sort of thing, because he looked like a pirate.
He looked like a pirate, even down to the
parrot.
The parrot on the shoulder, the eye patch and the parrot.
Yeah. What is it the parrot used? What does the parrot said all the time? 10%. 12%. And then right at the end, Guilt sends the parrot to Moist. It's sort of like a concession, I guess, of losing. But
I always wondered whether that was Guilt or if that was Veterinary that sent the parrot.
No, it was Guilt. Because who else would do that? Like, but at the same time,
because he was dead at the end.
No, it was sent the day after the it was sent the day that Guilt disappears, not several days later. But what is it? He says give it to Grout and teach it to say something. What is it he says to teach him to say?
I can find it.
It's right near the end.
Say it was something funny, of course it was, because it's Terry Pratchett. Teach it to say. What does it say? Teach it to say. They have a debate about it. Oh gosh. I can't remember. I cannot remember.
Hang on.
I went back to the page and found another brilliant one, which is these are all Moist internal monologue ones. It's speak softly and employ a huge man with a crowbar. His secrets to success.
Moist attempt at some famous final last words. It's not a bad thing I do now. Draws on a Dickinson novel from The Tale of Two Cities. And Sidney Carlton's final speech is a fair and far better thing I do. Sidney nobly steps into the shoes of the man he resembles and dies in his place, while Moist less nobly dies under one of his aliases, never dying under their own name. Okay. Sorry, just
I wonder if I can find it on Google.
This one's full of things. This one. This is the discord.fandom.com going postal. I loved They did it in both the movie and the book. I love the priest of the crocodile. The graveyard priest of the temple of Oppa, the crocodile god, says, "We eat the mere earthly shell, which believe me turns to dust and ashes in our mouths. This is the kind of justification used by unscrupulous priests throughout the ages for enjoying all the material aspects of extravagant worldly living while pretending that there is nothing there to really appreciate but pain and suffering." Had it all in there. It's all in there. You just, you can. I mean, seriously, why don't teachers put this in a class and like pull it apart in a literature class?
Oh gosh.
The very end, the final corruption drug is revealed. Now they're talking about. Oh, that's actually really interesting. When you think about it, it is true. The smoking gnu's plan to block the light from Gilt's transmission and substitute their own portable clock tower is an example of what computer scientists and security researchers refer to as a man-in-the-middle attack, where someone alters the communication between two parties without them knowing it. Because the clocks, in a way, is a telephone, a computer, yeah.
Mm. It's got a sort of steampunky sort of
oh yeah,
vibe.
the whole world does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Did you catch when they're setting up, when the competition's about to start? Did you catch what the wizard actually says when they're trying to fix the globe?
There's a reference to Lord of the Rings in there.
There's this big glowing eye.
Big glowing eye out of the thing, and then there's like, "Oh, that's me, sorry," and he leans back and it's replaced by a nose.
Yes.
But that line is very specifically referential to the Eye of Sauron in the glass balls that they have in Middle Earth. What are they called? The Palantir?
Yeah, the Palantir, yeah. That whole scene, yeah.
Oh, so funny. It's so funny. And is that the wizard that they sent off to the beach to study shellfish because he had terrible halitosis, bad breath? Dragon breath, what's his name? The one who could melt a hole through a silver plate by breathing on it. Another great metaphor. Melt a hole through a silver plate by breathing on it, as to how they describe his breath. Oh gosh. What else have I got written down? I think that's everything I got written down.
Okay.
I'm actually really looking forward to rewatching the film again. I've been putting
I was going to do it today. I was actually going to rewatch it today, but hubby ended up turning on Pirates of the Caribbean, and then Pirates of the Caribbean 2, and then Pirates of the Caribbean 3, and
I was going to watch it again, and I had the same thing of not wanting to get the film and the book mixed up, and not wanting to forget details of the book that weren't in the film. So I've been waiting until after we had a proper chat about it that I could so I can go back and read it, because I watched that and then I was like, I'm gonna go on a Richard Coyle spiral now and just watch everything that he's been in. So I binged watched like some mediocre NBC pirate show that he was in that was just, oh, for fuck's sake, again. I'll be back in a sec. Hang on.
Oh dear. I'm just still trying to find out what they tried to teach the parrot. Oh dear. So, eagle. Oh, we have to talk about Igor when you're back. Still alive?
I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it probably needs a new battery or something.
It's going to keep you up all night.
Battery warning, but it just keeps going off for no reason.
Ooh.
I swear to God, if it does that all night, I'm going to whack it and take the battery out because I want to sleep. And
yeah. Just before you do, go around and sniff everything. Make sure like everything's off.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the only thing that, well, the heater vent, like the ducted heater vent where it brings air in, is right near where the fire thing is on the roof. Like the ducted thing is down the bottom of the wall. But I can't smell anything from that. Sometimes we get like a burny smell from that, but the heater's off at the moment, and I can't smell anything from that. And it's
yeah. At the end, Guilt gives his parrot to Moist, Miss Deerheart. It's Guilt, isn't it? He's given you the bird, but they don't say what they teach it. The veterinary. It occurs to me that this is exactly the sum of money thought to have been stolen by a recently notorious con man. Moist, Albert Spangler. He's dead. Veterinary, are you sure? Yes, Moist, yes. Yes, sir, I was there when they hanged him. There you
are. So when he gets the money in the first place, Veterinary is quizzing him about it and he doesn't break.
Okay.
And he says something like, Veterinary gave him the piercing stare. He's like, well, we know what to do with those, don't we? We just let it pass straight through. And there's another bit where he's like, you know, and you know I know, but you can't be sure.
Yeah.
And he just plays Veterinary at the same way that not the same way that he plays Guilt, but he has this hilarious sort of back and forth with Veterinary where he doesn't give him what he wants, but he's like, he gives him enough to make him sure that Moist isn't so much of a threat per se.
Yeah.
But he won't admit to any of it. He never admits to any of it. Oh gosh. I love the detail about the fruit baskets as well. And then when one of the postmen gets bitten by a dog, he sends him a fruit basket.
Yes. It was the fruit. They all like the fruit basket.
Fruit basket. And then they make a metaphor about it. It's like life's like a fruit basket. You have to get past the pineapple, but you never know. There could be prunes underneath or something. It could be something else underneath. Oh gosh. All right, let me get some of these other quotes on Goodreads.
I'm obsessed now with trying to find what he says to teach that bird, because I know it like sums up the whole book, really.
I should be able to find it because I know it's the end of chapter 14, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it on the audiobook. Chapter 14.
Oh dear.
Oh.
I like this one. The bold one-liner parodied. After killing the would-be assassin with the mail sorter, which is a very nasty device, the narration observes that this would have been the perfect time to say something clever like, that's what I call sorted. But since Moist isn't the heroic type, he just gets noisily sick instead. I mean, It's just... Going Postal. It's just...
It's so good. All right. Oh, fuck's sake. Stop. Let's see if I can find this bit.
And will continue to be there forever, provided, naturally, that you don't go and look. This is known as finance. On the way back home to a simple breakfast, one of them dropped off at the Guild of Assassins to pay his respect to his old friend Lord Tony,
Okay, so it's before
during
this.
which current affairs were only lightly touched upon. And Reacher Guilt, wherever he had gone, was now certainly the worst insurance risk in the world. The people who guard the rainbow don't like those who get in the way of the sun.
All right.
Contract. Moist could read words that weren't there, but the clerks found the numbers that weren't there.
All right, that's the bit about the book. So it must be earlier.
Oh, that bar brawl though, that was classic.
Oh, that was good. How they're plotting out the bar brawl.
Sorry.
What now?
The great hall of the palace and looked down on his clerks. They'd taken over the whole huge floor for this concludium. But the address. Why'd someone send you a parrot? Said Grote, not caring to raise a hand within reach of the curved beak. It's Gilt's, isn't it? Said Miss Dearheart. He's given you the bird. Moist smiled. It looks like it, yes. Pieces of 8. 12.5%, yelled the cockatoo. Take it away, will you, Mr. Grote? Said Moist. Teach you to say, trust me, said Miss Dearheart. Good one, said Moist. Yes, that, Mr. Grote.
Because
and there's a reference earlier.
yes, because at one point he asks her to trust him, and she says, "I don't trust you, but I'm going to help you because I can't because you were honest about it or something." Yeah,
He says it's funny how the more you say I shouldn't trust you, the more I trust you.
yeah, that's it.
And then he says later to the smoking GNU, it's like, trust me.
Yeah.
Just please trust me. And then his internal monologue says, I've been saying that a lot lately.
Yes.
Trust me. That took us a while to get to. Laurel is back.
Hey, Laurel. We're still sort of rambling a bit.
Oh gosh. I'll go through and pick out a couple more good quotes from this good read thing. You know how to pray, don't you? Just put your hands together and hope. That reminds me of an even better line. When so it's in the end of chapter 13 when they're in the room with the Clack's message being read out on the omniscope. And he looks across and sees Guilt, and Guilt's not smiling, and he says, "Welcome to fear. It's hope backwards."
Yes.
No, it can't go wrong. You know there's no way, but you can't. You're not sure. Oh gosh. He's like, I've got you, Mr. Guilt. It's so good. Oh, the other best line when, like, the icing on top of the cake, when after he's used the line, if Mr. Guilt is not confident in his equipment, I could suggest he concedes now. Guilt is super mad. And then the icing on the cake when he makes him furious is like, how about a personal wager?
Yes. Yes.
And Guilt, what do you have in mind? Is like, oh, I don't know, $100,000? And he was like, $100,000? Where on earth are you going to get that from? And he says, haven't you heard? I just placed my hands together. It's like, no, he says, where are you going to put your hands on that? And he says, oh, I just placed them together. Haven't you heard? And he says, where are you going to get your hands on it? And he's just sort of like implying guiltiness.
Yes, yes. And
I don't appreciate that at all. He's so mad. Oh, it's so funny. Wait, I've got the time for that as well.
Yeah, it's just there's just so many gems. This is actually a bit like the Altered Carbon. There was just so many gems. You could keep going for hours just reading out the gems, to be honest.
Oh man, we could do a 14-hour stream talking about this, where we just listen to the audiobook and then stop and comment on things.
And laugh, and laugh, and laugh, and laugh.
All right, I think I found the scene.
Said Moist. That is normal practice.
Wait, here we go.
And
I'm going to go back a little bit.
It's a bit funny. And if I get pulled down because of copyright, we just won't bother coming back, guys.
But what was going on?
It's review.
I see, said Guilt. You are pleased to make fun of us, Mr. Lipvig. Well, said Guilt gravely, it would be best, Mr. Lipvig, if you were a long way away from here. Moist heard the tone because he was expecting it. Guilt was being reasonable and statesmanlike, but his eye was a dark metal ball, and there was the harmonic of murder in his voice. And then Guilt said, Is Mr. Grote well, Mr. Lipvig? I was sorry to hear of the attack. Attack, Mr. Guilt? He was hit by falling timber, said Moist. And that question entitles you to no mercy at all, no matter what. Ah, then I was misinformed, said Guilt. I shall know not to listen to rumours in future. I shall pass on your good wishes to Mr. Grote, said Moist. Guilt raised his hat. Goodbye, Mr. Lipvig. I wish you the best of luck in your gallant attempt. There are some dangerous people on the road. Moist raised his own hat and said, I intend to leave them behind very soon, Mr. Guilt. There, he thought. We've said it all, and the nice lady from the newspaper thinks we're good chums, or at least just business rivals being stiffly polite to each other. Let's spoil the mood. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, he said. Mr. Pump, be so good as to put the broom on the coach, would you? Broom, said Guilt, looking up sharply. That broom? The one with the stars on it? You're taking a broomstick? Yes, it will come in handy if we break down, said Moist. I protest, Arch-Chancellor, said Guilt, spinning round. This man intends to fly to Genua. I have no such intention, said Moist. I resent the allegation. Is this why you appear so confident? Snarled Guilt. And it was a snarl, there and then, a little sign of a crack appearing. A broomstick could travel fast enough to blow your ears off. It wouldn't need too many towers to break down, and heavens knew they broke down all the time, for a broomstick to beat the clacks to Genua. Especially since it could fly direct and wouldn't have to follow the big dogleg the coach rode and the grand trunk took. The trunk would have to be really unlucky, and the person flying the broom would be really frozen and probably really dead, but a broomstick could fly from Ankh-Morpork to Genua in a day. That might just do it. Guilt's face was a mask of glee. Now he knew what Moist intended. Round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody knows. It was the heart of any scam or fiddle. Keep the punter uncertain, or if he is certain, make him certain of the wrong thing. I demand that no broomstick is taken on the coach, said Guilt to the Arch-Chancellor, which was not a good move. You didn't demand anything from wizards. You requested. If Mr. Lipvig is not confident in his equipment, Guilt went on, I suggest he concedes right now. We'll be travelling alone on some dangerous roads, said Moist. A broomstick might be essential. However, I am forced to agree with this, gentleman, said Bridcully with some distaste. It would not look right, Mr. Lipvig. Moist threw up his hands. As you wish, sir, of course. It is a blow. May I request even-handed treatment, though? Your meaning? Said the wizard. There is a horse stationed at each tower to be used when the tower breaks down, said Moist. That is normal practice, snapped Guilt. Only in the mountains, said Moist calmly. And even then, only at the most isolated towers. But today, I suspect, there's one at every tower. It's a Pony Express, Arch-Chancellor, with apologies to Mr. Pony. They could easily beat our coach without sending a word of code. You can't possibly be suggesting that we take the message all the way on horseback, said Guilt. You were suggesting I'd fly, said Moist. If Mr. Guilt is not confident in his equipment, Arch-Chancellor, I suggest he concedes now. And there it was, a shadow on Guilt's face. He was more than just irate now. He'd passed into the calm, limpid waters of utter, visceral fury. So let's agree that this isn't a test of horses against broomsticks, said Moist. It's stagecoach against Clack's Tower. If the stage breaks down, we repair the stage. If a tower breaks down, you repair the tower. That seems fair, I must say, said Ridcully, and so I rule. However, I must take Mr. Lipwig aside to issue a word of warning. The Arch-Chancellor put his arm round Moist's shoulders and led him around the coach. Then he leaned down until their faces were a few inches apart. You are aware, are you, that painting a few stars on a perfectly ordinary broomstick doesn't mean it will get airborne, he said. Moist looked into a pair of milky blue eyes that were as innocent as a child's, particularly a child who is trying hard to look innocent. My goodness, doesn't it? He said. The wizard patted him on the shoulder. Best to leave things as they are, I feel, he said happily. Gilt smiled at Moist as they returned.
Yeah.
It was just...
I honestly reckon the wizard knows exactly what...
Always push your luck because no one else would push it for you.
Yeah.
Would you care for a little personal wager, Mr. Gilt, he said, just to make it interesting? Gilt handled it well, if you couldn't read the tells, the little signs. Dear me, Mr. Lipwig, do the gods approve of gambling, he said, and gave a short laugh. What is life but a lottery, Mr. Gilt, said Moist. Shall we say $100,000? That did it. That was the last straw. He saw something snap inside Richard Gilt. 100,000? Where would you lay your hands on that kind of money, Lipwig? Oh, I just placed them together, Mr. Gilt. Doesn't everyone know that? Said Moist, to general amusement. He gave the chairman his most insolent smile. And where will you lay your hands on $100,000? I accept the wager. We shall see who laughs tomorrow, said Gilt bluntly. I'll look forward to it, said Moist. And now I have you in the hollow of my hand, he thought to himself. The hollow of my hand. You're enraged now. You're making wrong decisions. You're walking the plank. He climbed up onto the coach and turned to the crowd. Yeah. Genua, ladies and gentlemen. Genua or bust. Will, yelled a wag in the crowd.
Oh, that is my favourite part of the entire book.
I just like the wizard. You were aware just painting some stars on
the perfectly ordinary broomstick won't make it airborne, aren't you? Oh, good.
Well, I do love I love the wizards in all of them. Because the wizard's intention is not to do magic, but to avoid doing magic.
Yeah.
That's usually what they are required to do. Oh, dear.
Oh, so good. Also, I can't get the top off of my fire thing, so I'm gonna have to Google how to do it. Fucking thing. 3 times it's gone off for no reason, and I'm just like, I am taking the fucking battery out of this thing.
Well, what we might do is we might do some final thoughts and maybe call it a bit of a night. So going Postal. Terry Pratchett.
I just found I'm going to read a couple more good quotes from Goodreads because they've put some great ones in here. This one's from the very beginning. It says, they say that the prospect of being hanged in the morning concentrates a man's mind wonderfully. Unfortunately, what the mind inevitably concentrates on is that in the morning it will be in a body that is going to be hanged.
I love it.
Oh, here's that quote I thought of. Welcome to fear, said Moist to himself. It's hope turned inside out. You know it can't go wrong. You're sure it can't go wrong, but it might.
Yes. And that's effectively what he does to Gilt, is he plays on the fact that Gilt is not 100% confident that he can beat him.
Mm. Here's another one. In defiance of Miss Macalariat, I'd like to commit hanky-panky with you, Miss Adorabelle Dearheart. Well, certainly hanky and possibly panky when we get to know each other, get to know one another better.
Which is he says in his mind, because he never says that out loud.
His internal monologue is so funny. Yes. It's so good. Talking about stamps, he says he's talking about like licking the back of stamps, making them flavored. Soon to come in licorice, orange, cinnamon, and banana, but not strawberry because I hate strawberries.
Yes. And then Stanley comes up with the cabbage flavored one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another brilliant one. Always remember that the crowd that applauds your coronation is the same crowd that will applaud your beheading. People like the show.
That's a veterinary one, I think.
I think it's a Moist one because he's talking about how people. Well, yeah, because people applauded it. The same people applauded his hanging, and then applauding him opening and winning at the post office. Oh gosh. What a place, what a situation. What kind of a man would put a known criminal in charge of a major branch of government, apart from, say, the average voter?
I do like that one.
I love that one.
I reckon you could get, God, I wonder if it's out there, if there's like a complete set of the Discworld novels.
Oh, there's got to be.
Because you could literally go through every single one of them and just dog ear it and line mark it and note take on them, because they all have these kind of work. They always have these, obviously the original one's not so much. He did get better as he went along, but it's there. It's there.
Oh, here we go. Moist was sure doctors kept skeletons around to cow patients. Yeah, we know what you look underneath.
I love that. I love that bit in the hospital with Sir Groat, and they're like, "Can you please take his hair with him?" we tried to burn it and it wouldn't burn, so we locked it in a cupboard and it keeps escaping.
And how his trousers were detonated.
Yes, and Groat turns around beforehand and goes, "Oh, I like that hair. I'm used to its movements."
He's like, "I've had it a long time."
Oh God! And Groat's afraid of baths. I love that.
Oh, I love it.
But I like, despite all the shit he puts himself through, apparently he's quite healthy. In fact, he's damn near indestructible.
Yeah.
Because at one point, West is describing to the doctor all the home medicines that this guy does.
Oh gosh. Here's one on the magic that you mentioned before. It's like, any ignorant fool can fail to turn someone into a frog. You have to be clever to refrain from doing it when you know how easy it is.
Yes.
And here's a great one about veterinarian guilt. They're having it off, and in the middle they get interrupted. It's like, "Oh, that's just thud. That's easy," yapped a voice. Both men turned to look at Horsefry, who had been made perky by sheer relief. "I used to play it when I was a kid," he burped. "It's boring. The dwarves always win." Guilt and Veterinary shared a look. It said, "While I loathe you and every aspect of your personal philosophy to a depth unplummetable to by any line, I'll credit you at least with not being Crispin Horsefry."
Horsefry. Poor Horsefry. Actually, I don't think I've read it, but there actually is a Discworld novel called Thud.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll be back. Oh my gosh. And the nice thing about A Stake Through the Heart was that it also worked on non-vampires. Oh, here's great. He's talking about the smoking canoe. It was a little like stealing. It was exactly like stealing. It was, in fact, stealing. But there was no law against it because no one knew the crime existed. So is it really stealing if what's stolen isn't missed? And is it stealing if you're stealing from thieves? Anyway, all property is theft except mine.
Yeah. Oh dear. You could just highlight the whole book, let's be honest.
Oh gosh, so many So many good. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, half the book is here in the memorable quotes list on Goodreads. Trying to see if there's any more that jump out. Where's the sense in promising to achieve the achievable?
Yeah.
That
that's what about Moist. He ups the stakes. He goes, "What if you're going to go big? You might as well go big. Just up the stakes again."
Yeah.
You know,
the definition of go big or go home. Oh, there was one on the first page. Let me find it. That was about freedom. Oh, here's a different one. Sometimes the truth is arrived at by adding all the little lies together and deducting them from the totality of what is known. Look, he said to his imagination, if this is how you're going to behave, I shan't bring you again.
Oh, I never noticed this. It's been a very long time since I've read Guards, okay? Moist comes across what may be Carrot's first letter home from Guards. Although the Discworld companion entry for William de Word points out that the letters home from young dwarfs seeking their fortune in Ankh-Morpork sound much the same. And what is it? In Carp Jugulum, a troll carves a stamp for passports out of half a potato. Here, Moist points out that any kid could forge a stamp with half a potato.
Yeah.
And then all the way to Masquerade, in that book, Granny Weatheraxe asks what Walter Plinge, if your house was on fire, what would you take out? And he answers, the fire. When the post office is on fire, golems from all over the area come and do precisely that. So they're the callbacks in the book about other Discworld books.
Other stuff. Oh, so detailed. And so if you start anyway, like you could start here and then go back and read them and be like, and then read them again and you get all the extra things. Here we go. And no practical definition of freedom would be complete without the freedom to take the consequences. Indeed, it is the freedom upon which all the others are based.
The dilapidated wizard's tower between Ankh-Morpork and Solat, unremarkable enough that it hasn't been described on that road in any book before or since, making its mention partway through the book significant. And then early on, Moist notes how people assume someone with a firm handshake and a steady gaze is honest and how easy those are to fake. When Moist meets Reach Guilt, he sees right through Guilt's facade by recognizing the man as having the firm handshake and the steady gaze of a consummate liar who's practiced for years.
Yeah. Oh gosh. It's the same, what is it? What's the saying? Where it takes one to know one sort of thing?
Yeah.
It's so good. I love the bit where he points out that Reacher Guilt is the sort of con man who tells everyone what it is and they applaud him for it and want to do business with him.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll start winding it up. Final thoughts on Going Postal. I think it's a brilliant piece of writing.
I am planning to go and buy a physical copy of it and reread it many times for the pure enjoyment of reading. I'm also planning to read more of the Discworld ones, and I think
it's actually reminded me how much I love Terry Pratchett and how much I loved his books growing up. And I actually am going to have to do a search for the complete series because I've got to have them to read to Mark when he's older.
Oh yeah,
to read to Mark.
What was I going to say? I would just get them from the library, but I want to actually like. Some people hate this, and I understand why, but I want to like underline my favorite lines and dog-ear pages.
If I have a book I love to that point, I normally buy 2 copies. I have the copy that's pristine that I love, and then I have the copy that I do that too. I know it's a waste of money, but sometimes you just gotta.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. I usually just underline in pencil, so if anyone wants to, they can rub it out if it ever ends up belonging to someone else. But I like I like doing that. But yeah, it's catapulted because I'd known of Pratchett for a long time, and Dad's a massive Terry Pratchett fan. This is the first thing that I'd read that was solely Pratchett. We read Good Omens, which is Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. And I have read a little bit of Neil Gaiman, just Neil Gaiman.
So can you see where Pratchett comes through in Good Omens now?
I can. I reckon he did that drunk scene with Crowley and Aziraphale. I reckon I could reread Good Omens now and be able to pick which parts are Gaiman and which parts are Pratchett, and which parts are Gaiman with Pratchett lines added in. I think I remember seeing a Neil Gaiman interview, speaking of Good Omens, where they talked about the line where the International Express courier guy is at the river, and he says something like, he'd come here with Maud when they were younger to spoon, and on one memorable occasion, fork.
Yeah.
And Neil Gaiman had written the line up until that when they were younger, to spoon when they were younger, and Terry Pratchett ended the line with "and on one memorable occasion, fork."
I can't.
Detail, and it just makes it so much better. It's brilliant.
I can't. I haven't found the series as a total series, but you know what QBD has?
What?
You know how they're doing all those fancy hardcovers? They've got Death and Friends. They've got The Colour of Magic. They've got The Light Fantastic, The Equal Rights, Mort, Weird Sisters, Pyramids, Guards, Eric, Moving Pictures, Feet of Clay, Masquerade, Interesting Times. They're all in that with those really amazing front covers. Oh my God, the Hogfather one. Oh my God.
That's one that I've got to read next as well.
Hang on, let me bring it up.
We haven't picked a book for next month yet either.
No.
Oh, there's such nice covers. I'm on the discworldemporium.com collector's library.
I mean, look at them all. That one of Mort's pretty cool.
Looks good. I love the satire, like the political satire in all the stuff. That's just so cleverly woven.
I need that copy.
Ooh, I like that one. I've seen that one before. I really like that one.
Why am I getting ads to Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Poloni? Seriously.
I ads for that as well. I got it suggested on Audible the other day, and I've seen
it pushing it at the moment.
I think it's a tour book, and I've seen it on their Instagram, and so because I follow Instagram, I'm getting ads for that book. I'm probably in their target demographic.
Probably.
Well, I wonder whether Reach of Guilt shows up in any other books.
That'd be actually interesting to find out. Doesn't look like there's a collection at all available. Here we go. they all look great. Snuff has a collector's edition. Jesus, not cheap. Oh, Small Gods does.
Oh, this is another great line. That people flock in, nevertheless, in search of answers to those questions only librarians are considered to be able to answer. For fuck's sake.
Oh, dear. It would not be a chat with Charlotte without some chaos.
Oh my gosh. Not this sort of chaos. I was saying. People nevertheless in search of answers to those questions only librarians are considered to be able to answer, such as, is this the laundry? How do you spell surreptitious? And on a regular basis, do you have a book I remember reading once? It had a red cover and it turned out there were twins.
Yep.
What's the bet? He's talking about
Star Wars.
Any number of books. Pardon?
No, it'll be Star Wars. There's actually a ridiculous amount of Star Wars references in this book.
It could have been Star Wars or Shakespeare, because I'm pretty sure that's a trope in Shakespeare as well.
So here, if anyone is interested in where to start, this is someone's recommendation for the Discworld reading order. It doesn't actually say to start anywhere in particular. If you want to start with death novels, you can start with Mort. The watch novels are Guards. Rincewind is the original, The Colour of Magic.
I'm just going to pull it up on my own computer.
And Equal Rights is the Witches novels, this first one of Granny Weatherwax and things like that. So, yeah. Anyway, pardon me. Yeah, it doesn't look like you could get them as a series. They have done like box sets occasionally, but they haven't got like. You'd be hard pressed, I think, to get all of them in the same imprint.
Yeah.
At the moment, unless of course you went for the expensive hardcover ones, which seems to be the go at the moment.
Well, there's one called Where's My Cow? Oh no. Is there more Moist Fun? Wait. Moist Fun. Well, it says going postal on this graph, going postal, making money, raising steam, and Mrs. Bradshaw's handbook is the order to read them in. Raising steam wasn't a Moist one, was it?
I don't think it was. He might be mentioned in it.
Maybe it was who's the main character in that? Oh, it's the third Moist Von Lippig subseries. Oh, there's a third one. It's the third and final book in the Moist Von Lippig subseries of Discworld, and the second to last book in the entire series.
Oh.
In this book, where do we go? In this, that's more. It is a Moist book, that's for sure. I lost the summary I was reading. Ooh. So we needed to pick a book for next month as well.
Yes, we do. Okay. Let's stop looking at whether or not you can get the series as a collector's box set, Renee.
I'm actually really tempted to Making Money as the next one. But I think we should probably pick something else, and then maybe we should put Making Money and Raising on our list.
Yeah, and we've also got to put the second and third.
I've got a suggestion for our December read, The Hogfather.
Yeah. I was actually going to suggest that myself.
We could do that for Christmas. Okay, so we did that
We'll do Hogfather in December.
December. I'm just trying to look when the third Friday is. So that'll be like the 18th of December.
Well, that's perfect because I always watch the Hogfather on Christmas Eve.
Awesome. Okay. I'm so glad there's a third one. That's actually made me so happy. I was going to be really sad that there was only 2 Moist Fun Lit Big books.
It feels more complete now because there's 3 of them.
More complete that there's a trilogy, and I think he shows up. He must show up in that Mrs. What was it?
Yeah.
Mrs. Bradshaw's handbook.
Yeah.
So it's the Industrial Revolution train. You read Moving Pictures, The Truth, Monstrous Regiment, Going Postal, Making Money, Raising Steam, whatever. Oh man, there's so many to read. I've got to read the audiobooks of all of them because then I can steam through like 2 in a week.
Yeah.
But the thing comes with having to wait for them.
Yes. Okay, so the next book. Now we have had on our list for a long time, June.
Yes.
Because I'm starting to see ads for the new series.
The movie is coming out in December.
Yeah.
So we could do that one as a November read, and then we'll be done in time for the film to come out early December.
Yep. Well, I'll knock June over in a day because I'll just put the audiobook on in the background.
The audiobook is I think around 30 hours, so maybe not a day.
Oh, well, weekend. It goes on Saturday morning and it pretty much gets finished by Sunday afternoon. I do the same with Lord of the Rings.
I have the second book in the Mistborn series. Did you finish the first one yet?
No.
Well, I've bought the second one, so I'm going to be reading that at some point anyway.
I'm not in the mood for it. I'm not in the mood for high fantasy at the moment. I've even had to go and readjust my plans for what I'm going to be writing over the next 12 months because the fantasy that I had planned, and yes, it was only a novella. I'm just like, I just don't. I want to get on and write my sci-fis. So
yeah. Let me see what I got on the list. Well, do we want to do another Pratchett or do we want to break up our Pratchetts with something else?
Let's break up the Pratchetts with something else.
All right. We could skip back to Gaiman and do Stardust. Or let's have a look. We've got, what have we got that I can access easily? That I feel like doing too.
Sorry, yawn.
Oh, should we try Schlock Mercenary? Although we've got to try and access to that. I don't know if I forgot.
I don't know if I got. Oh my god. I typed SCHO and Schlock Mercenary was my first suggestion complete. Oh, the Google overlords know all of it. The article is still up. I don't know how far they go back though. It goes all the way back to the originals.
Well, there was a second, like there was a point where you could start from like a second series though, wasn't it? Without having to read the back ones, like the original. I'm pretty sure it said that.
Well, the beauty of him being self-published is you can actually buy them in books. I actually used to own them. I used to own up to book 5, and they were all signed by him too. I passed it on to someone that would love them. That's all I'm going to say. I passed them on. If he had them as an ebook, I'd bloody grab it. What else did we have on the list?
The Tub of Happiness.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll leave looking at that till later and we'll pick something else for now. We haven't updated this list in a while.
No, we haven't.
We could do the next one in the, what was it called, series? The 5th season series. We could do the next one of those.
I'm still waiting for my books to turn up. They haven't arrived yet.
I'll probably just get the audiobook for that one. So
what about Jurassic Park?
Oh, is that on there?
Yeah, it's on there.
I wonder if I can
You can or the Martian. Jurassic Park. Don't worry about it. I'll send you a copy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Because Jurassic Park, we can also talk about the difference between the book and the movie again as well.
I haven't seen the movie yet, so
haven't you?
Nope. I've seen bits of it, but I haven't watched the full thing.
Yeah, I've got like multiple copies of it, so I can send you a copy.
Oh, I know one I wanted to add to the list was A Darker Shade of Magic.
Oh, yes, yes.
By the Schwab.
There's also there was the memory called Empire. I think it was. That's the new Hugo one.
Oh, I haven't followed that, so I haven't seen it.
Called a memory called Empire. I think it's that. Yeah, A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. I'm pretty sure that won the Hugo this year.
Jurassic Park.
It's a debut novel.
What was it called? Sorry.
A Memory Called Empire.
Well, we know what. Oh, for fuck's sake! What is wrong with you?
Okay. I reckon.
Well, I was going to say we know what Google wants us to do and what Tor want us to do.
Yeah, no, not doing that. Let's just wait for Charlotte to get back. So I'm still working on my socks. Oh, she really has frozen. Or have I frozen? No, Charlotte's frozen. You're not. It's just not your night, is it?
No.
Yes. Oh, we'll call it a night. Well, we could. I reckon. Jurassic Park or A Darker Shade of Magic?
I don't know if I'm going to get A Darker Shade of Magic in time. I've got it reserved from Libby. Let me see.
Well, is it even available on Audible? Because that's the only way I'll be getting it.
I think it is. Yeah, it's available. Here we go. I've got both. It's like 22 weeks away.
Yeah, that's not happening for a while.
8 weeks for the ebook. I could always buy it on Audible. Or I've got one I wanted to add was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which isn't out yet. Or another one from
I love those covers. Love them.
The Darker Shade of Magic ones. Oh, they're good, aren't they?
I like them.
Yeah, I want to search for Vicious. V. Schwab. Oh, I could get. Wait. Is this the first book in the series, though? That's what I want to know. Wait time about 4 weeks. Is it book number 1? Book number 1? Tell me it's book number 1. Place hold. Place hold for Vicious. Because there's a different series as well.
There's quite a few of her books on here.
On which?
On Audible.
Yeah, there's a couple on Audible. There's some of the series that they have that they only have them in German.
I'm looking at the German version right now, and it just reading the names looks awesome.
It looks so cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that might be the Darker Shade of Magic series, actually, but the covers, whoa. Love me a good cover.
Oh, that's the second book, damn it.
Okay.
Vengeful. Ooh, good. Place hold.
Oh, shit, it's nearly 10 o'clock.
Oh, gosh, yeah, we should probably wind up, huh?
Yes, I need to go to bed. Oh, look at all the Terry Pratchetts that are now appearing in my suggested.
Well, I should be able to get Vengeful, which I think is book 1 in the Vengeful Vicious series by B.E. Schwab. I should be able to get that in 2 weeks.
I think that was showing up as second. Hang on. I just saw that, and I'm pretty sure it said it was the second one. Warming, not the first one.
Villain series, let me see. Oh, wait, no, that is the second one. Wait, no. What? Why is it listed as Vengeful and Vicious, but then Vengeful is... So Vicious is book 1, Vengeful is book 2. Warm Up is a short story.
Okay, well, there's no Vicious on Audible.
It's on Libby for me, for the Eastern Regional Library, so it might be on there.
I've never been able to get my library out to work. Ever.
So I can get the second book in 2 weeks, and I can get the first book in 4 weeks. That's helpful.
Yeah.
We might just have to decide later.
Yeah, I think we will. We'll just have to chat about it.
Yeah, unless we want to do something that we've already got. I could do Stardust by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, see, I don't have that.
Or we could do oh no, I don't really want to do Dracula. Not at the moment.
I got three versions of The Hobbit, including an annotated version. I got The Martian. I got Lord of the Rings.
I've got The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but I don't particularly want to read them again. I've already read them.
I don't want to read them at the moment. Although, hang on. It's Hobbit weekend.
I know what we could do. You said you're in a sci-fi mood.
Mm-hmm.
We could do the second book in the Takashi Kovacs series. Because that is
all up for a bit of Woken Furies. No, sorry.
Broken Angels.
Broken Angels, thank you. I'm all up for a bit of Broken Angels.
Because that's on YouTube. I feel like that might be the one.
I am up for that.
That might be the solution, I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got both physical and audio.
Well, the audiobook is on YouTube, so that solves my problem. And
I've owned it for years.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's tentatively put that in, and then if we have any ideas after we stop streaming, we can switch it up.
Yeah.
And put it somewhere for people to know. But I can just read my Terry Pratchett in the meantime. I've got toilet paper here.
Oh God! I actually have the feeling you would fit in. You would fit in quite well to Discworld.
that would be fun. It would be a fun place to live.
Yeah, I reckon we do Broken Angels. Then what do we say we'll do in November? June?
No. Yeah, June.
June for the movie.
Yep.
And then Hogfather. I reckon we can do them. Yeah.
We can do them. Yeah, that works. And then in maybe January we can go back to the Broken Earth series if your books have arrived.
My series of books have turned up by then.
They've showed up. Or A Darker Shade of Magic if that showed up for me. Or Vengeful or Vicious. One of the two. Or maybe I'll just read them in the meantime. In the meantime, I'm just going to go read
Maybe if we're really, really lucky, the bookstores will be open again and we can go in.
Maybe if we're really, really lucky, Audible will sponsor our book club and we can get them for free.
Oh, God. We're not sponsored by Audible. I'm just a huge fan. I have had an Audible account since 2000. So, yeah.
I've had an Audible account since 2 months ago.
Off and on. Like, I've had to cancel my subscription a few times because I couldn't afford it. But, yeah, I've got a lot of books in my back catalogue that I haven't gotten around to listening to yet.
I'm actually really tempted. They have a deal that keeps popping up saying get 3 credits for like $36 or whatever.
Yeah,
where you can just buy bonus credits. I'm really tempted to buy that and then like pause my subscription and just use the credits because those credits are cheaper than the monthly subscription.
Yeah, but you've got to pause your subscription first and then pay for the credits, or pay for the credits, use them, and then cancel your subscription, because when you cancel it, you lose all your credits. I had 5 credits and I lost them.
Oh.
No, I transferred from the US account over to Australia, and Australian account, and I lost 5 credits. I was furious. And I wrote an email and I never got an answer. They never once replied.
Sucks.
But I've got so many books in here. I've got most of the Chris Longknife series by Mike Shepherd. That's an old sci-fi. I got a heap of Alistair Reynolds books. Chasm City. One thing I've never watched is listened to is Lucifer's Hammer, which is the sequel to A Mote in God's Eye. And yes, it also goes for a ridiculous amount of time. How long does that go for? No, don't play.
Yes?
Shush. God, where is it? Where's the details? It's like 35 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah, long one. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that shut you up, didn't it? Victory is mine.
Here's another. If you ever want to have a real good cringe at like a military sci-fi, the Starship series by Mike Resnick, at its time it was actually really good, but you go back and try and re-listen to it now and it just sounds so old. Which is a shame, because he actually was a decent writer.
The Smoke Machine was no match for my fury in a rolling pin. I thumped it instead of turning it off.
Oopsies.
Oh, beep at me because there's no battery. And it fell open, which is what I was trying to get it open before. Why is it when I'm holding a 9-volt battery, my first impulse is to lick it?
I think that's everyone's impulse.
Like, I'm gonna lick it. I'm gonna lick it. No, don't lick it. Be sensible. It's still got charge in it. Lick it, lick it, lick it. Oh gosh.
That's another one we have to put on the list. We've got to put Blue Moon Rising on the list.
Blue Moon Rising. Who's that by?
Blue Moon Rising. It's by Simon R. Green. It's a comedy fantasy.
Ooh.
The main character ends up being the second prince, so the second born prince, who's effectively the spare, a princess who ran away from her betrothal, a unicorn, and a dragon.
That sounds so good.
It is. It's brilliant. I love it.
I'm just like, the Bruna and I arrived just talking about licking the battery.
You've missed the occasional interruption of Charlotte's smoke detector, which she is now.
My smoke detector has gone off 6 times. I'm pretty sure 6 times tonight. All of them in the middle of the stream, and it's got no reason to go off. There's no smoke. There's no like weird smell out there. So eventually, I've been whacking it to turn it off, like with the hush button, and every time it goes back on. And this time, I just thumped it with the rolling pin, and it finally opened because it was sort of jammed shut before, and I couldn't get it open. And I was like, right, I'm ripping the battery out. Of course, now it's going to me that there's no battery in it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to have a fire.
Yeah, I hope there's no fire.
Oh yeah, the Hogfather's on Audible.
Ooh. I wonder if I can get it on one of my apps.
Be careful, there's an abridged version.
Ooh.
That was book 4. I did not realise that it was book 4. No, sorry, it's Death book 4, Discworld book 20. So how many of the Discworlds do they have? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've got all of them. It's not the same as being able to read them.
Yeah, well, see, I like starting with the audiobooks. And then once I know I'm going to really enjoy reading it, getting the physical one and just going through and savoring it.
Yeah, because my attention span is so limited to be able to sit and read something. I really only buy a physical copy. Yeah,
I feel that. Anyway,
so
we were trying to wrap up like 40 minutes ago, I think.
I know. I got distracted looking on Audible. Sorry, people.
Oh gosh. Sorry, we've just been rambling on. Anyway. Ow.
Oh, I think Raising Steam is him creating a steam engine. A train.
Ow. Ice cream was not worth that.
Oh,
I think we need to finish.
To the consummation of the patrician Lord Vetinari, a new invention has arrived. The Ankh Morpok, a great clanging monster of a machine that harnesses the power of all the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. This being Ankh Morpok is soon drawing astonished crowds, some of whom call the Zeitgeist early and arrive armed with notepads and very sensible rainwear. Moist von Lipwig is not a man who enjoys hard work. As a master of the post office, the mint, and the Royal Bank, his input is of course vital, but largely dependent on words, which are fortunately not very heavy and don't always need greasing. However, he does enjoy being alive, which makes the new job offer from Venatari hard to refuse. Steam is rising over Discworld, driven by Mr. Seminole, the man with the flat cap and sliding rule, who has an interesting arrangement with the sine and cosine. Moist will have to grapple with gallons of grease, goblins, a fat controller with a history of throwing employees down the stairs, and some very angry dwarves if he's going to stop it all going off the rails. It's about a steam engine.
Of course, Moist gets the job because he's the only one, like, the veterinary's like, well, I'll just kill you if you don't do it. And he knows he'll get it done.
Oh, dear. Okay, let's wrap this up. So, and yes, the pronoun I've had to leave that line up there because that's just perfect to leave up there for the rest of this chat. So that's been the Discworld novel 33, Going Postal. It has reignited my love of Pratchett, as I was saying. I'm going to have to get a copy of all of these books so I can read them to Junior when he's older. In fact, you know what? I think they're going to replace the Harry Potter series at this point for Junior.
Definitely off me.
Yes, because I am severely regretting having that series right now. I bought a beautiful copy of it. I was actually planning on this year asking for for my birthday in a couple of weeks, asking for the illustrated versions, and yeah, that's not happening now.
Nope.
So yes, no. Look, I run on the theory that the book. I have spent money. I just will not spend any more money.
Yeah, I had the same debate today because I've got a couple of Harry Potter T-shirts. I've got one of my favorite shirts is that like Gryffindor baseball cap. Did you come back at the moment when I fell over, Laurel, because the pronoun came back when I was about to lick a battery. I was trying to be quick to go and get ice cream, and I tripped over the hem of my own pants and went down pretty hard. I now have a very large bruise coming up on my knee and several bits of skin that aren't there, and a big bruise on my hand coming in there as well.
Oh, geez. You really did knock yourself over then.
Oh, yeah. I can see the swelling on the side of my wrist here.
Yeah.
Where
you not want to ice that.
This is the other one for context.
Yeah. You might want to get the ice cream and do this.
Yeah. Well, this isn't as sore. It's just going to be a big bruise on the front here, I think.
Yeah, but yeah. When I broke my arm, it wasn't sore for an hour, and I went back to work.
Ow. Oh, no.
I worked for an hour washing dishes before my arm stopped working.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might have. I don't know. I might have, like. If it gets sore, I'll go get it checked because it could be. It's right on the big sort of knuckle here. Yeah. Yes, I feel you. It'll be on the replay, Laurel.
I perform as public service. I do random gravity checks.
I have tripped up the stairs at work this week about 5 times this week.
Oh, you're in one of those shitty factories that has the slightly steeper stairs than what you used to.
No, it's just regular stairs. I'm just bad at.
I always find factories tend to have stairs that are just the way they're built just feels slightly steeper. I trip up them all the time.
What I do is I either understep or I stop paying attention when I'm on the 3/4 mark. It's always around the same point, and I'll either under or overstep, and then have to make up for it. And I've almost fallen up the stairs multiple times, and I've fallen up the stairs. I almost fell down the stairs. That was a close call, trying to go down them too quickly. I hope my boss isn't watching this because they'll be very concerned. Because I'm there alone at the moment.
Well, I was going to say, you shouldn't work alone, honey.
Yeah, I just need to be more careful.
Yeah. Okay, so did we decide on our book for next month? We did. It was Jurassic Park, right? Yes.
Broken Angels.
Sorry. Oh, my God. Okay, Broken Angels. So,
By Richard Morgan.
I've done some sorting, and I've got my next project bag out. My kitty cats.
Oh.
You may notice a theme with all of my project bags, my knitting project bags. I have kitty cat. I have kitty cats. Look at these faces.
I think I have to do a grocery order tonight. Because I just ran out of ice cream.
Oh, disaster. Well, you're allowed outdoor shopping once a day, so you can always go out for a shop tomorrow.
I can go out for a shop tomorrow. I can also do an online shop because Bree has started her free trial for the free delivery.
Oh, even better.
So we'll have, by the time we both run out of free trials for Woolies free delivery, it will be out of the lockdown. I'm going to go get some peas. Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Okay. We're going to call it a night because you're just a disaster zone.
I'm a disaster zone, and I still have a whole video to finish for before tomorrow. Not for YouTube, just for my brother's birthday. So
I've got to get around to editing my the next half of my vlog. I haven't done that yet.
I need to do that too.
Yeah. Although the next half of it is a lot of me just going, oh yeah, I haven't recorded much today.
I was vlogging today, actually. I forgot. Maybe I should vlog now, add this to the vlog. Oh gosh. I vlogged my first trip outside the 5K zone.
Oh wow.
So we're streaming and I took a tumble. My wrist is also swelling. It is not good.
No.
Anyway.
So we're going to let you go. Get all that iced up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to bed because I'm exhausted.
Final thoughts,
thanks, guys. It's vlog. Hi, vlog.
Yay. Going Postal is excellent. Everyone should read it.
Yes.
Or reread it.
Everyone should read all the Terry Pratchetts.
Yeah.
Because they're awesome. Okay, guys. So have a good night. And I'm not sure if Whiskey Wednesday will be back next week. It may be the second half of my vlog if I can get off my ass and finish editing it. Charlotte, I haven't linked anything down below, but I'll fix up the links later. Just do a search for Charlotte Armstrong or Chaos Deity.
The person who time. Ouch.
See you guys.
On any of the mess that's on the